welcome to the Treehouse. This is Kag with the View from Above tarot reading for, can you believe it? It is September. It is Sunday, September 1st, and it is the long Labor Day weekend here in the United States. And everybody up here in my neck of the woods is getting ready to go back to school tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow, Tuesday. This is the Labor Day weekend. So, good morning to you and happy September. I'm going to be doing a reading this morning, since it's the first day of the month, for what it would be helpful to know, what would be helpful to think, and what would be helpful to do as we're looking forward to this month and to this week and to so many beginnings in so many places. So I deeply shuffled the cards before starting the video. And I want to remind you that this is for the collective, so take what resonates for you and leave the rest. So here is the layout for what would be helpful to know. Here is the layout for what would be helpful to think, and the layout for what would be helpful to do, and Merriweather. We have these decks in case we need more clarifiers. I'm using the Rider-Waite Radiant deck this morning, which is the one with the lighter colored palette. So here we go. Here's what would be helpful to think, to know. This is the Two of Pentacles, and that is the prioritization of things in our material world. And he's doing a pretty good job of keeping those in balance. And what's interesting about this card is you can see that figure 8, the lemniscate in there, which is also present in the Magician and in the Strength card, which is to say that that is the eternal flow. And isn't that always the way? We are always trying to balance and prioritize what needs to happen first. That's that left brain thinking, right? We have to keep in charge of what are we going to do now? What are we going to do next? And so that is the energy for you to know this morning. What would be helpful for us to think about? And the Knight of Cups is the Wish card. This is the card at close to the end of the Cups, which is the suit of the emotions. And we are getting to the end of a cycle when we are looking at the Knight of Cups, and that is the Wish card. And that is where he's arranged his cups in the shape of the rainbow, but we're not there yet, but the 10 being the rainbow card. So he's showing you that this is where he wants to go with this. So this is what you are thinking about, is how do I get from this really close ending of the suit to its conclusion? So that's what that Wish card is about. And the Do card this morning is the Six of Cups, which is that cup of nostalgia, or for me, it is the cup of the inner child. What is it that little 5 or 6 year old inside of you wants to do today? This is the last long weekend, right, for some people, or it might be the first long weekend of the school year. But what would be fun for us to do today? It's Sunday. We've still got tomorrow, Monday, to worry about what we're going to do on Tuesday. So what would be a fun thing perhaps for us to do today? So let's go back and look at what would be helpful to know clarifiers. Our friend the Tower again today. We had the Tower yesterday too. And that Six of Wands. So the Tower is an unexpected change in the structure. And maybe in this case, we have to do some balancing around the change in structure. And my guess is that there are some parts of a known structure that you really weren't counting on. Maybe the list of things that need to happen is not happening in the way that you had thought, because something else has interrupted this, which is why you're having to balance those things. The Six of Wands is the success card, but success with the help of other people. So perhaps you need to get somebody to help you with whatever this structure collapse is, and perhaps that is what you need to be balancing on this day, prioritizing that. So don't be afraid to get help if you need to in order to manage whatever this structure collapse is. And again, those they can be big or they can be little, but it looks like you're going to need some help in order to keep this in balance. So what would be helpful for you to think about? Again, you are at the end of this cycle of emotions. You're pretty clear about what it is you want. You haven't quite got it yet, but you are showing us that you're really close. And that Nine of Cups is, wow. So the Queen of Pentacles is the internal energy of the Earth Mother. She's the one who knows deeply and right away what other people need. Even though cards, the queens tend to be knowing more about their own internal processes, she gets her greatest joy out of giving to others. She's the queen of all of that abundance that is there, and she is most likely to look at you and say, oh, honey, this is what you need. And we'll give that to you. So she is a really good person to have in your life, and you probably have somebody like that who's willing to, kind of step up and say, here, let me help you with this. And she may be the person that you most need in whatever this is that has happened over here. The World card is the card at the end of the major arcana cycle. And this bodes pretty well with this Nine of Cups, meaning that you are really getting to the end of this emotional cycle with the World card here. So this World card is to say that whatever the journey has been, we are about to close out those details in order to move ahead into the next round through the major arcana. The World is followed by the Fool card. But before we can go jumping off another cliff, we've got to clean up the leftovers of what this previous journey has been about. So there's a little housekeeping around the end of the journey. And you've got the Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, who is the one who knows maybe what would be most satisfying and gentle and caring for you to clean up those details as you think about, how you were going to close out the emotional cycle as well. So this is the Think card, and you are thinking about the end of this cycle. She's also the Queen of the Harvest, and as we are in September, that seems appropriate for her to be here in this place. And as we think about harvesting, also that is the end of a cycle, as well as this Nine of Cups. The Do card, and again, that was my impression of this card, was that this was maybe a day to do something fun. And that card is clarified by the Three of Wands, which is a terrific card. This is the card of having already launched the ships. You'd made some plans, you launched the project in place, and now you are waiting for those ships to come into harbor, or else you're watching those ships go out to do what you have commissioned them to do. But this is the execution of a plan. So the three coming after the Two of Wands. This is that will and determination to say, okay, let's go forth with this plan. And let's wait and see what happens. It is a card of patience. And so you have perhaps done everything you can till this day. And today is a day of doing something that your little inner self wants to do. You've done everything that you can. It's out of your hands for the moment. And then we also have the Four of Swords, which is the card of recovery. It is sometimes a card to indicate illness, but I think it is more foreshadowing of illness if you do not take care of yourself, which is to say you need to do something fun today, and you need to let go of whatever this is that you've put out into the world and really use this day as a day to recover, as to be calm and playful, and let the swords be for today, right? Let's let those swords be. You've got one horizontal and three pointing down, and you've got that beautiful stained glass window in here, which tells it a story. I'm not even sure what story it tells, but it is telling a story. That is the function of stained glass windows. But this is, be happy with what you have done. This is also a legacy card, and it's also a take off the armor card. That's not a real person. This is an effigy on top of a casket or a mausoleum. And so take off that armor that you've been carrying. Let those plans be as they are, and try and enjoy yourself, even though you've had to do some prioritization of what needed to happen here. This cycle is coming to an end. You've got one more day. You've got Sunday before everything has to happen again. And the energy always ramps up right after Labor Day, whether you're a working person or a person who works at home, or you're going to go back to school or whatever. It just seems like the energy all has to come up at the end of Labor Day weekend. So let's look at Merriweather for today. And Merriweather is giving us the King of Cups. The King of Cups is the most mature emotionally of all of the kings. He knows what other people need. He knows what he needs. He is willing to do whatever he needs to do to help you do what you need to do. But he's also quite aware of his own needs as well. So kings being in charge of the people and the land, as he sits on his throne floating on that beautiful lake of emotion, he is there to be stable for you and for himself. And so that would bode well for whatever this prioritization is that needs to happen. It also has some good resonance with coming to the end of the cycle of emotions. And he knows that this is what you need to do today, is to just really enjoy this time as best you can without worrying about the future. Just let that be. So let's see. We have 2 wands. We have 1, 2, 3 cups. We have 1 sword. We have 1 pentacle. Nope, we have 2 pentacles. And we have 2 major arcana. My suspicion about this is more of an annoyance as opposed to something that is catastrophic. That may not be true for you, but as I look at all of these cards, it just feels to me like this is more of an annoyance as opposed to something major. So focus really on taking good care of yourself today. That's his job, right? To take care of other people and himself. So don't forget yourself in all of that as well. And I hope that you have a beautiful first day of September. So this is what I have for today. And if you found this reading to be helpful, I hope you will like, share, and subscribe. And remember, this is a collective reading, so just take what resonates for you and leave the rest. And I welcome you to come back again tomorrow to the Treehouse for another View from Above tarot reading. And in the meantime, have a very happy Sunday and blessings.